Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the DNDTS Sports Podcast. I'm Dan Studer alongside my co-host, as always, Danny Gulix. Danny, how you doing this fine Tuesday night?
It's weird recording at night. It is. It just feels different. But I'm good, man. I had a decent day at work. It went pretty quick. How you doing, man? Saw you a couple times today.
Yeah, it was a great day. Whenever I get to see my best friend.
Let's address the elephant in the room. For the audio listeners at home, Dan had a pretty big milestone. If you can't see it, you want to explain to us what this milestone is?
Just to put it in simple terms with no story, I got a haircut, and now to put some story behind it,
why it's a milestone.
For those who do watch us on video, they know that I had the lettuce, I had the flow going. It was coming down on like basically my shoulders.
You had the Herbert.
No, I had the Trevor Lawrence.
You had the Lawrence, yeah.
And I've had that hair since like my sophomore, junior year of high school.
Oh yeah.
I just decided that it was kind of time for a change. And, with Thanksgiving literally later this week, I wanted to look nice and presentable. And my hair, when it was long, was just so dead. I wasn't able to style it. So rather than looking like a mess on Thanksgiving, and I look clean. And, I'm excited. It's good. It's going to take some getting used to. It's going to take some different styling as well. It's also been like 9 hours since I left the barbershop too, so it's definitely not gonna look. I also had a couple of people rub their hands through my hair too, so
it's fine.
Danny, the amount of I was talking this to my telling this to my mom earlier. I made a total of like 2 people tear up. I got countless jaw drops and double takes. So
I was one of the jaw drops.
You were indeed.
I was. Well, speaking of Thanksgiving, we'll get to that later in the episode. We will have our Thanksgiving Day pick'ems because we'll have another episode out before the Sunday tip-off. But we're not going to...
Kickoff.
Sorry. Basketball. Man. Chill. My brain's fried. Talked a lot of basketball today.
You mean like how I was chilling last night after I watched my Knicks beat your Thunder?
Shut up.
No.
Fair. We'll get into more basketball later in the year. But I just want it to be known that I am actively watching, so I will be pretty knowledgeable. I typically am, of course. I'm pretty accurate with all of my statements. I'm never wrong. Which we'll get into our pick'ems later, and you'll know how many times I was wrong. But we do want to get into our Thanksgiving pick'ems, and before that, happy Thanksgiving to whoever celebrates. To whoever doesn't celebrate, we want to say happy day off from work. And if you are working, thank you for everything that you do because you deserve the day off. But I'm happy that you are serving other people.
And if you're one of our Canadian listeners, I guess we can say happy late Thanksgiving. Your guys' Thanksgiving was like last month. So happy late Canadian Thanksgiving.
If you're Canadian, good for you.
Nice. If you're Canadian, you're cool.
I agree. I know one Canadian. It's a cool guy. Studer, what are you thankful for this NFL season? We'll keep it strictly football.
Right.
For what we're thankful for.
Danny, I'm thankful for a healthy and a successful Saquon Barkley.
That's a really good one.
Thank you.
I'm thankful I'm thankful for a competitive East Coast. Both conferences. We could have every single East Coast team make the playoffs. So
we mentioned that in last episode, yeah.
So I'm thankful for that. So let's get into the bread and butter of this episode, y'all. We said it on the last episode. We're going to be doing our quarterback tier list. This is a big episode for us. We've been talking about doing a little list for a little bit. As you can see, we have a couple of different tiers. We have the front runner, obviously, MVP front runners. We have the MVP candidates, the dark horse MVPs, quarterbacks that have been impressing, solid, low-end starters, bad, should be on the bench, shouldn't be in the NFL. Don't worry about how many there are after Marcus Mariota cuts off. I don't know why this list has almost double of everyone, but We're gonna be getting into it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird, but it was the only list that I can find that had every quarterback that has played this season. I think
Now,
there's like 42 on here or something like that.
Danny, let's talk really quickly. Those first 2 tiers.
Yes, sir.
Now, to me, MVP front runner, that's not plural. There's got to be just one guy in there, and then everybody else that he beats, right?
Added an S.
No, dude, there's only going to be one MVP.
So personally, this is how I want to see it. To me, the MVP front runner right now is not the best quarterback in the league. And if we're ranking it based off of, all that, because we're also only basing it off of this season.
So that's changed in the last couple of days, considering go ahead and listen to that episode as well.
That was a great episode, y'all. If you guys didn't listen to it, go back and listen to it.
When we did our predictions, Danny, you did have a quarterback winning the MVP, so that changed pretty quickly, and I'm now wondering who you could be having as your MVP.
My MVP is still Tua.
Did you not just say that your MVP wasn't a quarterback?
I said that my MVP is not the best quarterback in the league.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because Tua, yes, very good. Definitely still my MVP. However, my number one quarterback in the league is not Tua Tagovailoa. I would still put him top 3 right now because we're only basing it off of this season. But let's get into it. We'll get to that when we get there. But we're gonna do that in order of how they're on the screen, and it ends with this man right here. So first is gonna be Jameis Winston. We'll go back and edit like say we'll put Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston in the same tier, which I would not. We'll, at the end, we'll go around, move them. Hey, is this guy better than this guy? Move him over, whatever.
Now, Daniel, we're holding. Obviously, this is just to this season, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Whoa, whoa!
Yeah,
no free advertising.
My bad. I messed it up.
You don't say.
Chill. Okay, I tried to see if I can put it on my screen, but I can still see. Never mind. It's fine. So Jameis Winston, personally, I'd put him in the low end starter tier. Maybe bad.
I was thinking that same range, Danny, but I would probably lean more towards low end starter.
I agree. I don't think Jameis Winston is necessarily a bad quarterback, but we'll see who else we have in that low end starter tier, who we have in the bad tier.
I mean, the Saints are in just a complete rough situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure they have another quarterback on this list that we'll talk about soon. Actually, yeah, he's here. I see him, the Red Rocket. Actually, they have 2 other quarterbacks on this list. One of them I actually don't think should be ranked. Is Taysom on this list? Because Taysom's not a quarterback anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's being.
But we're gonna put him in the low end starter for now. Where do you
think... Danny, another thing that I want to just make sure I hear ringing in the background. Second.
No, it's okay.
I just wanted to let you know. I don't mind, but I just wanted to let you know. Now, are we doing if they're in the same row, one has to come before the other?
Yes.
If we're saying that they're all right, so we're playing it like that.
Yes. So say we put Daniel Jones in the same tier as Jameis Winston. If we think Daniel Jones is better than Jameis Winston, we would put him in front of him in the row.
Danny,
furthest to the left is the best.
I'm about to take off this Rangers jersey because they're playing the Kings right now. 35 seconds into the game, the Kings score. So...
just like my Devils. Just gotta strike quick and gotta strike early. I want to see your opinion. Where would you put Daniel Jones on this list? Impressing? Because that's exactly where I would put him. Because
he's been very good this season, and it's very impressive how good he's been.
Exactly. I think that he's been very solid. He's above the solid tier of solid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, I don't think there's much of a conversation. MVP candidate, right? I mean, he's kind of fallen off the past couple games.
This is where I'm questioning, what's the difference between MVP front runners and then MVP candidate?
Front runners is going to be guys, it's not spoiling. Like Mahomes, Tua, Josh Allen.
Well, then put Jalen up there too. I think he's a front runner.
I don't think that he's on the same tier as them though.
So you don't think Josh Allen and I'm sorry, you don't think Jalen Hurts is on the same tier as Josh Allen?
No.
Even though you can argue that you just said that Hurts has kind of fallen off a little bit. You can make the argument though that Allen has kind of fallen off a little bit more than Hurts has.
To an extent, absolutely.
Right now, I bet if I go and I look up the odds right now, Danny, I bet you that Hurts has the better odds of winning MVP over Josh Allen.
Very fair point.
I think Jalen Hurts has to be an MVP. I mean, he's the star starting quarterback of the last undefeated team. I don't really think I don't really think it gets any more front runner than that. I think he's got to be on that first tier if you're going to put guys like Mahomes, Allen, and Tua on there.
See, here's my thing. I mean, so Tua and Mahomes absolutely above Jalen Hurts. We can agree.
Can we?
If I don't.
I mean, actually, Tua. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If I don't misremember, Tua was your MVP, correct?
No, Josh Allen was. Tua was your MVP.
Okay, so Josh Allen was your
MVP. Are
MVP.
you okay?
So Josh Allen was your MVP.
Yes. Did you hit your head?
No, I'm misremembering. Josh Allen was your MVP, but you're trying to argue that Jalen Hurts is above Josh Allen?
No, I'm just trying to argue that they're on the same tier.
Okay. But you're saying that Mahomes. Okay. So
look, you can put.
This is where.
What are we saying? There's potentially 4 guys. Are we saying Hurts, Allen, Mahomes, and Tua? If all 4 of those guys are going to be on the same tier, even if you put Hurts at the number 4, but Hurts has got to go on that top tier.
We can put him there for now, but we'll reconvene at the end.
This is why I was just saying. That's why it's confusing with MVP frontrunners and then MVP candidates.
Well, okay, I see your point. Next up, Jimmy G. Jimmy G's played a decent chunk of their games this season. And he has impressed, actually. I think he's been – I wouldn't necessarily put him on impressing, but I would definitely put him on solid.
I was thinking the same thing, but honestly, I wasn't in the range of impressing to solid. I kind of was on the border of solid and low-end starter.
Oh.
But I'm going to go with solid for sure.
Okay,
I would,
so we'll meet in the middle.
I would say 85-15% in favor of solid.
Okay, yeah. I just think he's definitely improved from what we saw last season to what we saw this season.
Sure, yeah.
I was having this talk with a guy at work today. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 16 quarterback in the league talent-wise. But however, I do think that he is one of those top quarterbacks that you would want on your team if you're trying to win a championship. Say you have every piece on your team and you need a quarterback, Jimmy G would be the guy that you would want.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I would take him.
Like you think about the Jets team. They have receivers that can, not necessarily this season, but next season, can be Super Bowl type receiver core. They have a running back core that can be a Super Bowl type running back core. They have a Super Bowl caliber defense. They just don't have the quarterback. They get a guy like, obviously, you'd want Josh Allen, you'd want Mahomes. You can get a guy like Jimmy G, your Super Bowl contending roster already. You know what I mean? Like right. He's that kind of guy. He's a guy that if I'm contending for a Super Bowl, I'd want him right now more than I'd want Jalen Hurts. Depending on the roster.
I'm sorry, Danny.
Depending on the roster you put around him.
Okay.
Because if you're a pass-heavy scheme, I'd want Jimmy G more than Hurts. But if it's depending on the scheme. That might be a.
I still think I disagree with that take.
Okay.
There of the 31 other teams, take the Eagles out and take the Niners out. So if you were to look at the 30 other teams, I'd want I would probably be picking Jalen Hurts to lead a team to the Super Bowl over Jimmy Garoppolo and all 30.
Yeah. Okay. So but Kyler Murray. If I'm trying to win a Super Bowl now, would you want Kyler or would you want Jimmy G? We're not arguing that Kyler is not a better quarterback than Jimmy G, but which one would you want more? Jimmy G has proved that he can take a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. He has. He's done it before.
Exactly.
And he came close to winning a Super Bowl if it wasn't for a late game
Patrick
comeback
Mahomes.
from the Chiefs.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes.
Well, we're talking this season with Kyler.
Yes, we're talking just this season.
Probably Jimmy.
Exactly. All right, let's move on.
Okay, but
We're
that's
on a
more of a
tangent.
fair point. Jimmy over Kyler, not so much a Jimmy over Jalen.
Yeah, no. Jalen was I was talking crazy. That's my bad. I
You were
reject that. I reject that statement.
Statement redacted.
Yeah. Geno Smith. Geno. They wrote him off. He didn't write back. He's obviously at least impressing.
I would put him, Danny, at dark horse.
I would also put him in dark horse. I think that if there's I think Geno Smith is like the typical dark horse MVP candidate right now. If the Seahawks keep, let me check their record real quick. They already had their bye, correct? Yes, they did.
Yes,
they're 6-4, so
yep.
he doesn't necessarily have the MVP type record right now. But I mean, if you just look at what he's done with this team, that he was fighting with Drew Lock to be the starter before the season started. Drew Lock. And now he has a winning record with this team, which, yes, they have a very good offensive core, but he was expected to do absolutely nothing. He's been so good this year. I mean, I don't have his stats pulled up in front of me, but I can get them super fast.
Geno's?
Yeah, Geno. I'm pulling him up, don't worry.
See who can get him faster.
I already have him up. Geno Smith this season has 2,474 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
That's a really good touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, no, that's
17
insane. Considering for his career, he's 51-41, including the season. That's insane. Before this season, he had a negative touchdown to interception ratio. That's it.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow. Yeah, I think dark horse is the perfect tier. Tom Brady. I think we're going to have some solid disagreeing on this one.
Okay. Was that a hint there, Danny? Some solid disagreeing?
No.
Okay.
Which I think that you're going to put him in solid. I'm going to put him in dark horse.
Danny, you couldn't be more wrong. I mean, I would argue dark horse. I would maybe even potentially think MVP candidate.
So I'm not going to put him in MVP candidate right now because I do think Geno Smith has been better than Tom Brady this season. I would put him in dark horse just under Geno, just because I think that not necessarily. I mean, obviously, right now,
Brady's got more passing yards. Who's got a better completion percentage?
Geno's at 63 or 73, excuse me, which is a very good completion percentage.
I don't even know where Brady is. That is 73 is very good.
I mean,
where's Tom Brady? 66. Let's look at touchdowns. Can this load?
12-2 touchdown to interception ratio.
Okay, so 5 less touchdowns, 2 less interceptions.
Yeah. Tom Brady has been good. I just think Geno has been better. Tom Brady does have the potential to kick it up and go nuclear.
Tom Brady also does lead the league in attempts, though.
Yeah, I think
so. That's something really to kind of take a look at when you're considering completion percentage. Let's see. Brady's got 427. Geno Smith has 316. So nearly 100 more attempts from Brady.
Are the Bucs undefeated since Brady's divorce?
When did
he was 2-0? So week 9 was his first game after. Yeah, they beat the Rams, they beat the Seahawks, and they were on a bye this week. So yes, he's undefeated. Tom Brady undefeated as a single man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I would have put him in the MVP candidate, but actually no, because I know somebody else who I'm going to put in that tier, and they're also, I feel like, better than Brady this season. So
I also have somebody that I'm going to put in that tier. They're actually coming up. Carson Wentz. I'm going to put him in bad. I think he's been worse than Jameis, excuse me. Which is not necessarily fair. He has been hurt. But when you think about the other quarterback on this list that plays for Washington, Taylor Heineke, I would put Taylor Heineke higher than I'd put Carson Wentz.
Danny and Tyler Heineke, that's the exact reason why I think that Carson Wentz needs to be in the should be benched.
Oh, I agree. I like that.
He's bad, right? So he shouldn't even be the starter. So that's why he should be benched. I feel like it only makes sense to put him in this tier.
Should we just delete the bad tier then?
We'll let's keep going and we'll figure it out.
Keep going. Next, Lamar Jackson, MVP candidate.
Yep.
This was the exact guy that I was talking. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. Lamar Jackson.
This wasn't who I was talking about, but I think you could potentially agree with me.
I think just Lamar has been better than all of those guys below him this season. And it's Lamar Jackson, man. Like, it put him any lower than MVP candidate any season is a crime.
And it's not too late, necessarily for him to make a case for MVP front runner. It's just there are definitely some guys that are better than him so far this year.
Absolutely. I think talent-wise, he's probably like the second best quarterback in the league. But if you think about it, he's got 500 less yards passing than Geno, which is not good, right? He has 16 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. You think about the guys he's playing with. He missed Mark Andrews for a few games. He missed Rashad Bateman, who's his number one receiver.
I mean, yeah, here's the thing, though.
Devin
he had
Duvernay
no Mark Andrews, but you know who was up next after Mark Andrews? Isaiah Likely. Likely killed it.
I mean, yes, Isaiah Likely did kill it, but Isaiah Likely is not a top-tier tight end in the league. You know what I mean?
No, he's not.
Isaiah Likely, on most teams, he's not a starting tight end. He could be a number 2. But he's not a starting tight end on 28 NFL teams. And I can confidently say 28 NFL teams. But
yeah,
I mean,
probably. I feel like the Giants would be one of those 4. I would probably have started Likely over Bellinger.
Giants, Lions, after the Hawk.
You would have okay. I was about to say, whoa.
No, Hawk is on the Vikings now. Chill.
I know. Well, I was thinking start of the season.
But you think about it, Lamar with those horrible stats is 7-3, and that's just passing stats. I mean, you think about the other aspects he brings to the game as a rusher.
I was about to say, you mentioned his passing stats compared to Geno, not compared his rushing stats to Geno.
Exactly. It's just a whole different realm of possibility when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Running this season, checking. I want to see his full season stats. Sorry. This season, he already has 666 rushing yards. Oh, bad number. But 3 touchdowns. That's about 100 less than he had all last season. Oh, last season he only played 12 games.
It's 2-0 Kings. I hate it here.
All right, we'll move on. Josh Allen, we already talked about it. MVP front runner. He's ahead of Jalen Hurts. He's gonna be. I'm not gonna say where he's gonna be on my list, but we don't have to talk about it. We talk about him literally every episode.
Honestly, Danny, I'll be real with you. I think we have it right where we have it so far.
Oh, exactly.
Man, I feel this is gonna be tough for those that listen on audio.
Yeah. Yes. We very apologize, but we did warn you last episode. Watch it on YouTube. I did say that.
I'm sure you did. I don't remember, but I'm sure you did.
For the people on audio, though, just to write it down. MVP frontrunners list. We have Josh Allen and then Jalen Hurts. MVP candidate list. We have Lamar Jackson alone currently. Dark horse candidate list. We have Geno Smith and then Tom Brady. Impressing. We have Daniel Jones. Solid. Jimmy Garoppolo. Low-end starter. Jameis Winston. And should be benched Carson Wentz. And next up, we have Kyler Murray. I'm going to put him in. Because it's just based off this season. I'm going to put him in solid. Maybe I'm going to put him like high end solid. Because he's been worse than Daniel Jones this season.
Has he?
He's
got more passing yards.
He just hasn't been good.
He's got more passing yards than Jimmy G. He is Kyler Murray. He's got more passing yards than Jimmy G, Lamar Jackson, and Daniel Jones.
Yeah, but his touchdown interception is 12 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. When Jimmy Garoppolo's is 15-4, when Daniel Jones is 9. That's not good.
I can't even find him on this list. How many
Daniel,
touchdowns does
when it comes
Jones
to stats,
9.
when it comes to stats, Daniel Jones has not been good.
No.
But he's been very good on the field. 66% completion percentage isn't good. You're not winning games. You're 3-6 as a starter when you have DeAndre Hopkins, a very good defense. Like,
I mean, don't forget, D Hop didn't play for the first 8 games.
That's a fair point. But they still had Rondale Moore. They still had James Conner when healthy. They had Eno Benjamin played very good when healthy.
Kyler's also got a 66 points. So he's completed 2/3 of his passing attempts compared to Daniel Jones' 65.
Would you put him above Daniel Jones?
Probably.
All right. Well, let's change the name of this from impressing to great.
Okay. No, I think that's a good one.
Because he's not been impressing, but he's been better than Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, the stats just show it,
Next up, we have Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. Happy
Danny,
that people stopped with that.
Put him to the right of Lamar Jackson.
I agree. Just pulled up his stats. Almost 3,000 passing yards in 10 games. 22-8 touchdown to interception ratio. 8 yards per attempt. Almost 70% completion percentage. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
That was who I was talking about earlier. When you were talking about Lamar, I was talking about Joe Burrow.
And I'm happy that we agree that he's not quite better than Lamar Jackson, but he's up there.
I mean, I feel like you can make a case that you can, but Lamar is just so impressive in the running game.
Exactly. It's like, as a passer, there's no question Joe Burrow's better, but when it comes to just bringing multiple factors to the game, Lamar Jackson changes it. Like,
absolutely.
It's just insane.
Very well said, Danny.
Jacoby Brissett. We're gonna disagree here.
Hey, Danny.
We're gonna disagree here. I think we are.
I don't know if we will.
Let
me look at something really quickly.
Jacoby Brissett, 2,400 yards, 7 yards per attempt, 11-5 touchdown interception ratio. 64%. Shut up. 64% completion percentage. I'm gonna put him in solid. I mean, he has weapons around him, of course. I think he's been solid this year. Think about the situation he's in. He's been better than Jameis Winston. Would you put him on low-end starter?
Okay, never mind. I thought that somebody else was going to be back, but that might be... No, isn't he back? Week 12? Isn't he back? Yeah. Wasn't he only suspended 11 games?
He was only suspended 11 games. That's correct.
See, that confuses me, because didn't everybody make a big deal about, like, oh, yeah, his first game back and he's playing the Texans? No.
Oh, no. He's not playing till week 13.
Oh, okay. Because honestly, if I thought he was playing this week, I would have put Jacoby Brissett and this should be benched. Because Brissett's probably going to get benched.
Yes, but I think Brissett is better than Jameis Winston. I think he's been better than Jameis Winston this season.
If I could find these stats. I mean, they're both on page 2. So
yeah. Well, Jacoby Brissett, 2,400 yards. We already said his stats. Let's pull up Jameis. Jameis, it's not very fair. Jameis.
Oh, they're not both on page 2. I lied.
Jameis has only played 3 games.
That's true. Well then, yeah, you have to put him above if he's played more.
Yeah, I'm putting him above.
Why can I not find Jacoby? Oh, there he is.
So let's move on.
Wow, Jacoby Brissett also more passing yards than Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson.
Next,
Russell
Wilson.
Danny, bad, just bad.
Yeah, that's
just bad.
I'm so happy that we agree.
Remember,
I was literally going to say,
you were like, should I even really get rid of this category? No, because
definition
Danny,
of that.
the end of this chart, we might just be naming that the Russell Wilson tier.
I agree. And next, Davis Mills.
Yeah, why are you in the league?
Like, you've been horrible. I mean, let's be fair. Let's give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Who does he have to throw to?
Brandon Cooks.
Nico Collins. 11 to 11 touchdown to interception ratio, 2,100 yards on how many attempts?
Honestly, Danny, you want to know how bad I think Davis Mills is?
How bad do you think Davis Mills is?
I would take Kyle Trask over Davis Mills.
What team is Kyle Trask on? He's on the
He's
Bucs.
Brady's backup. Yeah.
This is Brady's backup.
I thought Trask was pretty solid with Florida. I think it was Florida.
Yes, it was Florida. Because he was the reason that Kyle Pitts looked so good, because Kyle Pitts was playing with a horrible quarterback. You play with a bad quarterback and you get a ton of catches, you look good because, I mean, you have to adjust so much to get the ball because it's never coming straight for you.
Who's next, Danny?
Matt Ryan should be benched. Was benched. Bad.
Danny, I feel like I'd be willing to put him in low-end starter. Maybe all the way at the end.
Yeah.
But low-end starter.
Okay, fine. I can agree with that. Only because he did get benched for Sam Ehlinger and then got put back in because Sam Ehlinger is going to get moved to a tier that we won't say yet because spoilers. Makes for a not fun video if we do that.
I swear I must be blind. Like, why can I not find anybody on this stat list? Doesn't
just go to Pro Football Reference.
I'm probably gonna have to. I can see right here 2,227 for Russell Wilson, but why can I not find? Oh, there he is, Matt Ryan, 2,443. Who's got more touchdowns? That would be. Wow, the fact that I have to scroll this much. That would be Matt Ryan with 10.
Jeez. All right, let's move on. It's Matt Ryan. No need discussing a 39-year-old quarterback. Or at least it feels like he's 39. I don't know. Next, Trevor Lawrence. There is need discussing a 23-year-old quarterback.
Danny, I want to put this guy in like solid.
Above or below Jimmy G? Because looking at the stats, 23,500 yards, 13 to 6 touchdown to interception ratio, 65% completion percentage. These are all, I mean, not the yards, but I mean, you think about it. 13 touchdowns compared to 12, and he had 17 interceptions last year, and he has 6 this year. His QBR is up to 51 compared to 33.5.
Give me just 1 sec. I finally moved over to Pro Football Reference. NFL.com is just pissing me off.
He already has the same amount of wins that he had last year. Has about 1,300 less yards.
Where's Jimmy Garoppolo? There's Jimmy Garoppolo. Show only these selected rows. Yeah, Lawrence
I think I'd put him above T-Law.
Jimmy G's got a better completion percentage, more touchdowns, less interceptions. I'm sorry, yeah, less interceptions. So yeah, I would put him below Jimmy G, but I do think that Trevor Lawrence deserves to be in the solid territory.
That's
tier.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair. I didn't know.
I think he's better than Brissett. I think he's better than
Jameis, Matt Ryan.
Jameis, thank you. And Matt Ryan.
You know the meme of Shaq, and it says, "Sorry, I'm sorry, brother. I wasn't aware of your game, or I wasn't aware you were like that." That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Trevor Lawrence, or about Jimmy G. Excuse me, because I was saying put Trevor Lawrence above Jimmy G. Then you just reminded me how good Jimmy G's been this year.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Next, Patrick Mahomes. There's no need to talk about it. He is above Josh Allen on the MVP frontrunner list.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I agree. So he's currently our number 1 quarterback.
I mean, yeah, when you lead the league in touchdowns,
I want to pull
and passing yards.
Yeah, I want to pull up Derek Carr stats. He's our next guy. 2,400 yards.
The least amount of interceptions with a lot of. Tua's got 3. Jalen's got 3.
It's Tua. Tua has the most, or Tua has the best like completion, or like I think it's like interception percentage or something like that.
Yeah, it's no. Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, for qualifying quarterbacks,
completion percentage, Tua, Jalen. Jalen's got a lower one, so if you want to look at a higher percentage with lower interceptions, it would be Tua.
Yeah, I mean, there's like on Pro Football Reference, they have interception percentage as a stat. I think it's just like the amount of the percent of times or percentage of times intercepted when attempting to pass. Minimum
Oh, then it's
14
2. I'm
attempts.
sorry, then it's Tom Brady.
Oh, is it really?
0.5.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, he does lead the league in. All right. Next, Derek Carr, 2,400 yards, 7 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3-7 as a starter. I feel like he's a lot worse than what his stats show. He's in a high volume offense where they do pass the ball a ton, but he just misses a lot. Like he had a walk-off touchdown this week in overtime to Devontae Adams. And I just feel like he hit him, yeah, but I feel like the ball was, I don't know if I'm just nitpicking because it's obviously hard to be an NFL quarterback. I would put him in.
Danny, I'm putting him in solid.
I would put him in solid, but
I put him above Jimmy G.
Ooh, I was going to say below Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, hold on. Let's look at all three of these guys.
Yes. I understand the stats.
All right, so let's look at it at passing yards. Derek Carr has the most completion percentage. His is the lowest by about 5% compared to Jimmy G. Interceptions, Derek Carr's got 5 to Garoppolo's 4. Interception percentage, Derek Carr 1.5 to Garoppolo's 1.4. How many interceptions? 6. Okay, so maybe he just goes between Jimmy G and Trevor Lawrence.
I can settle for that. I would still say put him below T-Law just because of he got that dog in him for T-Law.
No, I don't think so.
Come on, the eye test.
He's got more yards, more touchdowns.
I mean,
and one fewer interception.
Yeah.
There's no. Let's look at quarterback rating too. Derek Carr has the highest out of the three of them, and he's about 9 points higher than Derek Carr too.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's look at the rating. Jimmy G's got a 104 to Derek Carr's 91.6. So let's put Jimmy G first and then Derek Carr.
I agree. Next up, Justin Herbert, J Herbo. He's definitely not having as good of a season as he did last year. I mean, last year he threw for almost 40 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards. But, I mean, 16 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 2,700 yards, a 66 completion percentage on 400 attempts. Solid. He was a Pro Bowler last year. I don't think he's going to get the same treatment this year. I would put him in top tier solid.
See, I'm looking at that too.
Maybe just under Daniel Jones and great.
So you think he goes above Jimmy
Yes,
G?
yes. He goes above Jimmy G.
Okay, let me.
The touchdown to interception ratio is not sexy, but I mean, just the yards are good. He's been dealing with Keenan Allen.
Let's see,
and Mike Williams
Herbie's
being
top
injured.
5 in yards, more touchdowns. He's got the most interceptions, but his rating, he only has a 90 to Jimmy G's 104, and QBR, he's got a lower than Derek Carr, but higher than Jimmy Garoppolo. Interception percentage, his is the highest. Makes sense. He's done the most interceptions. Touchdown percentage, he's got the lowest. It's below Jimmy G. I would think this might be. Do you put him under Jimmy G?
No. He's 7th in the league in touchdowns. He's 5th in the league in passing yards. And let's just look at attempts.
Danny, are we
second in the league in attempts? So
should we be focusing more on the rating from Pro Football Reference or the QBR from ESPN?
They're similar. I think
either way, Herbert doesn't have a higher one than Derek Carr.
Yes, but I mean, not everything is going to be stat based. You think about it, Herbert is a better quarterback than these guys.
Herbert also has the highest yards per game.
Herbert can. I mean, he's not
most first downs passing.
He's not a mobile quarterback, but he can move. You know what I mean? Like he's on like that. He's not Kyler, but he's like Patrick Mahomes, where he can escape. He can extend a play. I mean, he just throws a better ball. He doesn't have the arm strength that Derek Carr has, but he's higher than Jimmy G. He doesn't have necessarily the accuracy Jimmy G has.
So we're putting him at the top of the solid tier.
Top of the solid or bottom of the great?
Ooh.
I would think bottom of the great.
Has he necessarily been great this year?
Yes.
It's
a step down from last year for him, but I still think
this season he's also been playing with a lot of injury, and I feel like that's what's prevented him from being great. That's why I would put him at just solid.
Keenan Allen has been out for most of the year. Mike Williams has been in and out of the lineup. I think that he has been great for what he's been given. So I'm going to put him in the great tier.
If we have to make adjustments, we have to.
Yeah, we'll go over at the end, of course. Tua Tagovailoa.
I think he goes between Herbert and
Mahomes
and Allen.
That's exactly where I was going to have him. And so our MVP frontrunners list is locked. Well, we're not adding anybody to it. We may move Jalen Hurts out of it if I have anything to say about it.
No, if anything, we'd move Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen.
No.
Yes.
No.
Danny, the Eagles are 9-1.
See, you might be able to talk me into it because I just realized Josh Allen's second in the league in interceptions.
Thank you.
But okay. Well, we'll talk about that when we get there. Baker Mayfield.
And this is coming from the guy that has him winning the whole award. So
Baker Mayfield, bad. Where do you have him?
I'm questioning if PJ Walker should be starting over him.
Well, I
don't think he should. So I'll put him in bad.
The Panthers are starting.
Is Russ better? Yeah.
No. Yes.
I was going to say, hold up.
Yes. The Panthers are starting Sam Darnold this week. So.
Oh. Do we have to put him in the should be bench just for that?
No. Not just for that.
Yeah, Russ has more yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions. And doesn't matter what ranking you look at, he's got a better rating.
Exactly. Next,
look. I didn't have a thought in my head that Russ was going to be under Baker. I was just double checking.
Mac Jones. I say you put him in the bad above Baker Mayfield. He's not a low end starter.
I think he is.
I can't put him above Russ.
Let's see. Russ, where's my boy Mac Jones?
Mackenzie Jones?
Whoa, okay, chill.
1,386
Russell Wilson,
yards.
More yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions. Okay, yep. And Russell's better ratings. We'll put him in bad.
Between Russ
and Baker. Yep.
Yeah. Zach Wilson, why are you in the NFL? I'm not going to actually give it to him. Should be.
I was about to say, should be benched.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Is he better than Carson Wentz?
No.
I'm just asking the question because it has to be asked.
That's fair.
I'm not saying I think it. It just has to be asked.
It's fair. Joe Flacco? Bad.
I mean, this is
low-end starter?
No. Are we talking about the 3 games that he played?
In the 3 games that he played, was he not solid?
You know what? Let's compare Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco.
I'm going to pull up his stats from those first 3 games that he played this season.
Okay.
First game against the Ravens.
Danny. Let me just put it like this. Flacco's played in 4 less games and has only 300 less yards. He's got 1 more touchdown. Not Zach Wilson having 1 more touchdown than Flacco. Other way around. Zach Wilson has played in 7 games and still does not have as many touchdowns as Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, first game of the season, lost to the Ravens with 300 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
You're right, Danny. Low-end starter. Joe Flacco is better than Zach Wilson.
Easily. Next up, Mitchell Trubisky. He's already benched.
He was benched. Stick him in the should be benched.
Between Zach Wilson and Carson Wentz. Agree? He was better than Zach Wilson. I'll tell you that much. I would not put him above
Who do I need
Carson
to
Wentz.
look at between Wentz and?
Are you arguing him over Wentz?
I just want to look at the stats. That's all. Who are we talking about? I can't even find.
Carson Wentz and Mitchell
anybody.
Trubisky. Wentz.
Mitch Trubisky. Where's Carson Wentz?
Wentz through 6 games, 1,500 yards, 10 and 6 interceptions.
Yeah, Wentz has more yards, way more touchdowns. Okay, I just wanted to double check. That was all. I didn't know what Trubisky's stats looked like.
3 and 2. Almost why are you in the NFL status? Ryan Tannehill. Let's see. I actually have no clue what Ryan Tannehill has been doing this season. 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 65% completion percentage on how many attempts per game, or how many attempts total? 209 attempts. Like, how can you even rate that? 200 attempts. Joe Flacco has more attempts than that. Or Joe Flacco has almost as many attempts as that. And Tannehill's played 8 games. I say low end starter, I guess.
I was thinking solid.
No, I think Jacoby Brissett's been better. Technically, I mean, like, how do you even rank him? How do you even rank Ryan Tannehill? 200 attempts.
Sure, Danny, but at the end of the day, the Titans right now are 7-3.
That has nothing to do with Ryan Tannehill, though. 200 attempts as a quarterback, dude. Come on. This deep into the season, when you have guys that have attempted over 400 passes.
Okay. He's got Derrick Henry as his running back. That's fair.
That's fair.
And that's not always necessarily a him call. It's a Mike Vrabel call and whoever their offensive coordinator is too.
Absolutely fair, but we're not basing it off of any of that. We're not basing it off of, how, this, that, the third, or play calling of a team. We're basing it off of how they've played this season, and he's passed the ball 200 times.
Low end starter then.
I would put him just below Jacoby Brissett. I think Jacoby Brissett, not necessarily shown more, but he's been better. Andy Dalton should be benched. The Red Rocket.
Yeah, I put Brissett over Tannehill. Sorry.
The Red Rocket.
Dalton
Andy
should be
Dalton.
benched. God, I feel like he's kind of borderline. Why are you in the NFL?
So are we going to put him?
I feel like we put him between Trubisky and Wentz.
I can agree. Justin Fields. We put in the field.
Has Justin Fields reached the level? Oh, we got rid of that tier. I was going to say impressive.
Let's see. Justin Fields. And you got to remember that he started off the season. He didn't have 20 passing attempts until the 4th game of the year. He still hasn't had 30 passing attempts. He only has 228 attempts. But in 228 attempts, he has 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 1,650 yards.
Danny, I feel like he would be in solid, but he would be last.
I agree. If we only look at passing stats, because then we can look at rushing stats, where he has 800 yards and 7 touchdowns.
And how many does Trevor Lawrence have? I don't see that.
Rushing?
Yeah.
Let me pull up Trevor Lawrence real quick. Because you can argue Justin Fields over Derek Carr if you're also looking at rushing. Because rushing stats for Trevor Lawrence, rushing, he has 178 yards and 3 touchdowns, which, not even comparable to Fields. Derek Carr.
You mean rushing. 4 touchdowns? A difference of 4 touchdowns isn't comparable?
And 650 yards, yeah. It's not necessarily comparable.
I was supposed to say the yards. All right, yards, that's fair.
67 yards and no touchdowns for Carr.
Okay, well, Carr's not a mobile quarterback, and we know that.
Yeah, but we're not.
So do we put him under Carr above Lawrence?
We can do that. I do think he's been better than Carr this year, but we can do that for now and reconvene at the end of this.
It's just him running kind of throws it off because passing-wise, Carr and Lawrence are way better.
Well, yeah, but if we're only looking at passing-wise, Burrow, Geno, and Tom Brady have been better than Lamar. You know what I mean?
Okay, this is I feel like is something of noteworthy. Justin Fields has also been sacked 40 times.
Yeah, which is not necessarily on him.
Yeah, but could still also try to escape the sack. I mean,
that's true, but he does with 800 rushing yards. Isn't
so do
he?
we take that into consideration then?
Yeah, I would say that he's been better than Derek Carr this season, and arguably Jimmy G. I would not put him above the solid tier. I'd put him definitely in the solid tier.
I mean,
but I just think he brings, just like Lamar, he brings multiple facets.
There's no
the
way that we can say that Fields is better than Carr when we started this season criticizing him for his lack of passing attempts.
Yeah, but we weren't necessarily criticizing Fields. We were criticizing the whole offensive scheme.
We were criticizing Fields.
I think it was more of criticizing the idea of Fields than criticizing Fields himself. Just because we were like, oh, what can, how good can this guy actually be if they're not letting him throw the ball? And then they let him throw the ball, and he's been not necessarily great, but he's been solid.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. I either way, I think it's fine where it is. I just don't think he's better than Carr.
I disagree, but we'll reconvene at the end of this thing and see if we can come to a consensus. Dak Prescott, in what we've seen, I would say great. I would put him below Daniel Jones, between Jones and Herbert, maybe above Jones.
This is just tough.
Just because he hasn't played.
Exactly.
He has not played a comparable amount of games. But I think that from what I've seen from him, he's improved so much from last year. You know what I mean? I would put him above Jones. Honestly, I might put him above Kyler. I might put him at the top of the great tier. Let me check his stats. I want to see how many games he missed.
Yeah, I'm comparing all three of them right now.
I'm not even doing that. I just want to see. He missed too many games. At the end of the season,
Murray has the most yards of the three and the most touchdowns.
Okay.
It comes to Jones and Prescott have also thrown the same amount of interceptions. If you want to look at the rating and the quarterback rating, Prescott has a higher one than both Jones and Murray, but does that have to do with him playing less games?
Yeah, that's possible. I would put him between Murray and Jones.
Above Jones?
Yes.
I don't think so, Danny. I don't necessarily think that that's fair to have that hurt Jones because he's played in more games.
Well, it doesn't.
I also think that Jones is doing more with less.
Yeah, yes.
Dude,
he's been doing.
Wide receiver 1 for the longest time was Richie James, and then after that, it was David Sills.
See, I just want to compare real quick: 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, to 1,900 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 65% completion percentage to 68% completion percentage, 7.5 yards per attempt compared to 7. I just think Dak has been better in the amount of time that he's played than Daniel Jones has. That's not a knock on Jones. I think Jones has been very good.
I'm looking at these. Do we need to switch Justin Herbert and Daniel Jones?
I think so.
Do we need to switch Herbert and Murray?
I would probably put Herbert at the top of the great tier.
Yeah, I don't. Herbert's got more yards, more touchdowns. So looking specifically really quickly at Herbert and Murray, Herbert has thrown 4 more touchdowns with only 1 more interception.
Yeah.
And has, in both rating and QBR, Herbert is higher than Murray. I think it should go Herbert, Murray, Jones, Dak.
We can do that for now because we're going to go over it at the end, of course, super quickly. Taylor Heineke.
You know what, Danny? Talk about run. You want to talk about Justin Fields and his run game putting that over Trevor Lawrence and potentially even Derek Carr. I think you need to look at Daniel Jones's run game, and I think that could be the deciding factor that puts him over Dak Prescott.
Very fair point. I didn't even look at his rushing stats.
like
Yeah,
honestly,
that's a
Danny,
very fair point. That's a
I
very
would
fair
think
point.
that Daniel Jones would deserve more MVP votes than Dak Prescott does.
Very fair. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, thank you. So that's a good way.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess that's another way of looking at these two and deciphering is who really, is more valuable to their team.
Yeah, that's fair. Taylor Heineke, low end starter. I think he's earned that. Below Joe, just above Joe Flacco, maybe.
Yes,
I think
potentially over Wentz. Sorry, not Wentz. Potentially over
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I would put him over Matt Ryan. Not over Jameis Winston though. Big JMO. Sam Ellinger. Why are you in the NFL? You're below. You're horrible. You're a dog. Teddy Bridgewater. I'd put him at top of should be benched.
Danny, I think Ryan should go above Heineke.
I feel like guys like that you can't really compare stats because Heineke's played in so many less games, but I just feel
yeah.
I just feel like he's made a bigger impact. He beat the Eagles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
No qualms with Ellinger last.
Oh yeah, why are you in the NFL?
Teddy B, I put him at the top of should be benched. I think he's better than all of those quarterbacks.
Sure. Better than Wentz?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm a big Wentz guy. I love.
Yeah, but this season.
See what Teddy B's done this season. I actually don't think that he's even played much. So that's
So in that case, you can't put him over Wentz.
500 yards, 9 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, no, I'm not putting him above Wentz. Fair point. PJ Walker.
Who's played more, Bridgewater or Red Rocket?
Definitely Red Rocket. Are
we sure about this?
Yeah, but Red Rocket's been horrible. I'm putting Mitch above him. I think Andy Dalton's just been that bad.
Bridgewater.
Yeah, we're getting to there's just some guys that we shouldn't even talk about. Like PJ Walker. Bad, but above Baker. Did we say PJ Walker is better than Baker right now? Or was he better this season? I think he was better in the games that he played.
I feel like if he was better than him, he would still be playing right now.
I mean, neither one of them are. You know what I mean?
Right. I think Dalton needs to go above Bridgewater.
Dalton?
Yeah.
So would you put Mitch above him? Because I would say Mitch was better than Dalton in games that they played. Nah, never mind.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, never mind.
Dalton did play in 3 more games. He's got more yards. Yeah, Trubisky only had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Dalton was better than Trubisky.
That's fine. PJ Walker. Bad, but above Baker. That's where I'm thinking. I don't think he's better than Russ.
But is PJ Walker better than Mac Jones so far this year?
Yes.
Let's see. PJ Walker.
3-3, 700 yards.
And who else am I looking at? Baker Mayfield?
Nah, never mind. Yeah, there's no need to look at it. He did not play good. He played better in my head.
Who did? Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush.
Oh, yeah. Walker. I didn't realize Walker started just 1 less game than Baker and has about half of his yards.
Cooper Rush. Should we do top of should be benched? Because obviously he's not better than any of those guys, but he's 4-1 this season with over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
I'm sorry, Danny. Who is this?
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush deserves to be like.
Maybe
I feel like he deserves to be in low-end starter, honestly.
No.
Cooper Rush did really well for Dallas.
But
he lost, 1 game, and it was to Philadelphia?
I wouldn't put him above Russ. I wouldn't say that he's better than Russell Wilson.
All right, so what, we got to put him in bad, but do we put him in bad just under Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
All right. It's just, games played is such a tough thing to look at.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, if he played more, if these other guys played less, like how many did they have through this many games?
Jared Goff. This will be a fun one.
Low end starter.
I agree.
But who is he? Is he at the top or is he just below Brissett?
I'd put him at the top. I'd put him at the top of low end starter. I can agree with that.
I want to look at. Let's see. Let's look at.
He's pretty
Goff.
high, and
Let's look at Goff. Let's look at Tannehill, and let's look at.
Goff is 10th in the league in passing yards. He is tied for 9th in the league with passing touchdowns. He is 13th, tied for 9th in the league in interceptions. Interception percentage, Jared Goff is 18th, so not great.
Let's see.
And
Yards,
attempts,
Goff over Brissett and Tannehill. Touchdowns, Goff over Brissett and Tannehill. Goff also has more interceptions.
Yeah, but that
2x plus 1 gets you the equation for his interceptions to, which is the same for Jacoby Brissett, 2x plus 1.
Yeah,
and then 2x plus 2.
I'm gonna say he's low end starter. We agree with low end starter.
Low end starter
above Brissett.
Let me look at yards again.
He's 10th in the league in yards.
Okay, yep, above Brissett, absolutely. More touchdowns too.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to put him in great.
I don't either.
I think
does he go at the? He's got to go at the top of the solid then.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Because at the end of the day,
it's Aaron Rodgers,
number 6 in passing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Where's Gino? Gino's in dark horse.
Yeah, Gino's been that good. Gino has been that good. Maybe we can put him bottom of great.
Let's see. Rodgers has more yards and more touchdowns than Geno Smith. 3 more interceptions.
But he's 4-7.
I'm sorry. You can't bring up rating now when I brought up the fact that the Titans are like, their record for Tannehill, and you didn't want to look at that.
Well, yeah, but it's a
fully
different circumstance between Tannehill and Rodgers. Tannehill has attempted 200 passes on the season, and Aaron Rodgers is like, let's see.
Rodgers has attempted 60 more passes than Smith.
Than Gino?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Gino. He's attempted Tannehill. He's attempted double the passes of Tannehill. Or almost double the passes of Tannehill. Right. So you can put a lot more of their record on Rodgers than you can put on Tannehill.
Ooh, Smith has a higher touchdown percentage.
I'm not even getting into advanced stats. Geno Smith has just been better. He's led to more wins for his team than Rodgers has.
Okay, that's fair. So
I would put Rodgers low end great. I think that's fair. I think Dak has been better. Daniel Jones has been better. Kyler, Herbert have been better. And I think that Geno's been better than all of those guys.
So who are you putting over Rodgers?
Dak Prescott. I think Dak.
You think he's low end great?
Yes, I think he's low end.
Whoa, okay, hold on, because now we got a lot more to look at. So you mean to? I mean, where's Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones. Who else am I going to look at? Let's look at Kyler Murray. Where is Kyler? There he is. Too small to see him. I'm not even really going to look at Dak right now, but let me see. I'm like, I don't know if it's because it's late, Danny, but I am absolutely blind. There's Herbert. Show selected rows. Yards. Herbert, Rodgers. Touchdown. Rodgers, Herbert. Interceptions. Rodgers and Herbert have the same. Rating. Rodgers, Herbert. QBR. Jones, Herbert, Murray, Rodgers. All right, QBR is weird, but rating. Rodgers over Herbert. Completion percentage. Herbert, Jones, Rodgers. But Rodgers has less attempts than Herbert. I think it's either got to go Rodgers, Herbert, or Herbert, Rodgers. Murray is not better than Rodgers. I'm sorry. No, absolutely not. Herbert is not better. I'm sorry. Kyler is not better than Aaron Rodgers. Thank you. Don't you dare ever disrespect back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers.
I will continue
that
to
ever
disrespect
again.
Aaron Rodgers. I will. He's been.
Well, hold on. Danny, give me one more second. I just want to compare the two now between Rodgers and Herbert just to see.
I don't think Rodgers has been a top 10 quarterback this year.
Herbert, more yards. Herbert, less touchdowns. Same interceptions. Herbert with the higher rating. Okay, Herbert then Rodgers. And that defense for Aaron Rodgers. Shout out to my coworker Don. You're not going to tell me. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Kyler Murray is better than Aaron Rodgers. No, absolutely not.
Kyler Murray has 2
Thanks
less
for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. I just don't think Rodgers just hasn't been that good this year.
All right, but also let's look at let's look at one more thing really quickly.
I also just want to say Matt Ryan is ninth in the league in passing attempts.
7.
Just want to say Matt Ryan's 9th in the league in passing attempts, and he's been horrible.
Oh my god, he's 9th in the league in attempts.
Yeah. Matt Stafford, low end. He's been dealing with injuries. That's just not very fair.
But injuries are a part of the game.
2,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Low end solid.
Low end solid. Do we put him above?
Nah. I would put him literally last in solid.
Stafford. Where's my boy T-Law?
Kirkland Cousins.
T-Law's got more yards, more touchdowns. Okay, yeah.
Who? Captain Kirk.
Dark horse?
No. No.
I just love the way you said that.
I like Kirk Cousins. I just don't think he's been amazing this season. He just yes, his stats are solid. 24, 61 yards, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. They're 8-2. They pass the ball a ton.
I'm looking right now, Danny. I'm looking at Brady just because he's the bottom of Dark Horse, and I'm looking at Herbert because he's the top of great.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has the least amount of yards, the second most touchdowns, the most interceptions, the lowest rating.
I think he just misses a lot of passes.
Okay, so he's definitely not going to go above Brady
or Herbert.
And he's not going to go above Herbert, but the question is, does he get put above Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Let's just look at it this way. Attempts.
Rodgers is more yards, more touchdowns, less attempts, Danny. I think
we'll put him just below Rodgers.
Yeah. I would definitely say he's better than Kyler, honestly, too.
I don't think Kyler's been that great this season. Bailey Zappi should be benched.
Top tier, honestly. I think he's the highest of the should be benched.
Fair. Kenny Pickett.
Danny, I'm sorry. All I can think of now with my rant about Rodgers is, you're going to look at me and tell me I'm wrong?
You're going to look at me and you're going to tell me that I'm wrong?
Her sister came down in a bubble, Doug.
I'm going to put Kenny Pickett somewhere, and I want you to tell me if you agree or disagree. For audio listeners, I put him in bad below Russell Wilson because his stats are not good. 3 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. 1,400 yards.
Weren't 3 of those interceptions really not on him? But you can say that about every guy that we've talked about so far. So.
Technically, if you really think about it, 5 interceptions on his season were not considered turnover-worthy plays. And if you really think about it, there's 2 touchdowns just straight off the top of my head that were dropped by receivers in the end zone or right outside of the end zone that could have been touchdowns. So if you take away those plays, that's 5. That it'd be 5 and 3 instead of 3 and 8. But still, I would still say he's below Russ.
Danny, I would put him under Cooper Rush.
I wouldn't.
They played the same amount of games. Cooper Rush had 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
Yeah, Cooper Rush is also playing with a way better core of players. A better offensive line, a better running back core, a better receiver core. He's also got
a better rating.
A better offensive coordinator, a better.
It doesn't matter which rating you look at. Cooper Rush's is higher than.
Yeah, but it's not all stats though.
No, Danny. Cooper Rush is better than Kenny Pickett.
I don't think so.
Danny, if it was Rush and Pickett going for the starting job, Rush is winning it.
No.
Yes.
No, I
Yes.
fully disagree with you.
Now, all right, Danny, I'm sorry. Rush was better. Now I got to look at
I fully disagree with you.
Pickett, Rush, and
Baker? Are you? No.
I'm just checking, dude.
No way.
Kenny Pickett does have more yards than Baker. He's got the most out of these three. Mayfield's got more touchdowns. Yeah, no, I think it's got to go Russ, Cooper, Baker.
I'll do it.
Kenny.
Baker over Kenny? I'm not putting Baker over Kenny.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
I'll
same games. Oh, less yards. Not by much, but less yards. But 3 more touchdowns, 2 less interceptions.
I'll compromise and put
a higher
Rush
rating.
above him. I'll compromise and put Rush above him, but Kenny Pickett has been a better quarterback than Cooper Rush was.
Okay, if you're gonna put Rush above Pickett, then I'll keep Pickett above Baker, even though
I'll
I
compromise.
Disagree.
I fully disagree with the Rush pick, but Malik Willis, below Zach Wilson. Like, he was horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put him in Why Are You in the NFL because he's a rookie, but Marcus Mariota, low end starter.
Dude, I really think you're still missing with taking Pickett over
I'm
Baker.
Not.
I think you are, dude.
I'm fully not. Marcus Mariota, 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 5 and 6 in a rush heavy scheme. He's been decent. Let's look at his rushing yards too. Rushing.
I'm gonna get really. I mean, here I'm even gonna look.
372 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Pickett has more first downs, but Baker's got more yards per attempt, yards per catch, but Pickett's got more yards per game.
Baker also had Christian McCaffrey.
All right, we can keep Pickett above Baker.
Where are we putting Marcus Mariota? He's the last one we got to rank.
I'm thinking low end starter.
I'm thinking low end starter, just above Ryan Tannehill. I actually don't think that we're gonna have a lot of tinkering to do once we finish this. I would think. I mean, if you think about the scheme he's in, they've run a lot. He has almost 400 rushing yards. He has a career high in rushing yards, almost career high in rushing touchdowns. So 372 yards, 4 touchdowns. Then you get to the passing stats, almost 1,900 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 62% completion percentage.
Let's see. Mariota's got more yards than Tannehill, more touchdowns, 3 more interceptions, but in 3 more games played. Mariota's got a higher rating.
With about 50 more attempts.
He's got more touchdowns, right? More yards.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so I'd go Goff.
Brissett. Mariota
over Brissett or no?
Let's look at Brissett. Yeah.
Brissett hasn't Mariota done a lot more in his legs too?
Yeah. 100, almost 200 more yards, 2 more touchdowns. But 600 less yards.
Mariota's also got 3 games.
2 more touchdowns
compared to Brissett's 1. Okay, so yeah, let's
put him above Brissett.
Go Goff, Mariota, Brissett.
All right. So let's look this over. Yep, the top row looks right. That looks right. That looks right. This is fine to me. I'd still say moving Justin Fields up makes sense to me.
I don't think so.
But I'm cool. I'm cool keeping the list like this.
That's a good something.
I'm cool keeping the list like this.
I think I am too, honestly.
So for our YouTube watchers, this is the list. This is the final list right here. For our audio listeners, our list goes Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Those are our MVP frontrunners in that order. MVP candidate tier goes Lamar Jackson and then Joe Burrow. Next tier is the dark horse, which is Geno Smith and then Tom Brady. Next is the great tier, which goes Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, in that order. Next tier is the solid, which goes Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Matt Stafford. Low-end starter tier goes Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett, Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, Taylor Heineke, I almost said Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, and then Joe Flacco. The bad tier, Russell Wilson, Cooper Rush, Kenny Pickett, Baker Mayfield, Mac Jones, PJ Walker. Should be benched is Bailey Zappi, Carson Wentz, Andy Dalton, Teddy Bridgewater, Mitchell Trubisky, Zach Wilson, and Malik Willis. And then why are you in the NFL? Davis Mills, Sam Ehlinger. I think it's very accurate that we have Zach Wilson ranked outside of the top 32 NFL quarterbacks. That makes me happy. So yeah, that'll be that.
Danny, I love it when we have those moments. I need you to have one of those moments where you just get like heated and you start yelling like I did.
If it wasn't almost midnight, I would, because that Kenny Pickett thing really got me going. That really got me going.
I mean, it's really close between him and Baker. I would give Baker the edge, but
I would not. Real quick, we'll go over Thanksgiving Day games. There's only 3 of them. It's almost midnight, so we're just going to do it really quick before we do the outro because I am exhausted. First game of the day, Bills versus Lions. I'm assuming we both have the Bills. It's one of the best offenses.
It's a safe bet.
One of the best offenses versus one of the worst defenses.
I hope that the Bills drop 100 on the Lions because I hate the Lions after what they did to the Giants.
L.
Shut up.
Still an L. Next game, Giants versus Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh, man. I mean, you take a look at the wide receiving core that the Giants had going into week 1 versus going into week 12.
It's so
no
different.
Wandale, no Kadarius Toney, no Sterling Shepard. I don't think they have David Sills anymore. So they have no Daniel Bellinger. So they've got Darius Slayton, Richie James. Yeah,
that's it.
That Cager, tight end Cager, I forget his first name off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, this is the Giants' second game against the Cowboys this year. They played them in week 3. They lost 23-16. 23. Yeah. Yep. 7 points. I don't know if that math is right. It is. I don't know. I'm so tired. Give me Dallas. It kills me to say that, Danny. You know what I'm looking forward to the most with this game, Danny?
Is Dallas not wearing their white?
You know what one of the 2 things that I'm looking forward to the most about this game is, Danny?
What?
One is Dallas not wearing white. I don't know why they're not. They get to pick as the home team, do they not? Is it a Thanksgiving thing? Do they always wear blue on Thanksgiving?
I have no clue. I don't even know if they're not wearing white.
No, because the Giants announced that they're wearing white on Thursday. It might be a Thanksgiving thing, honestly.
It might be because I do think that they wear.
I think they were blue on Thanksgiving. I think it's just number 2, the Jonas Brothers are the halftime performance.
That's hilarious.
So that's gonna be cool to watch.
Alrighty, and the last game of the week, Pats versus Vikings.
Oh man,
I was bouncing back and forth between these 2, but I'm taking the Vikings. I'm gonna lock it in.
I'm going to take the Vikings too. I don't know what that was against Dallas. I'm just going to chalk it up to bad day.
Kirkland Cousins. Yeah.
Do you think he has a Costco membership?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has Costco and BJ's. I think he's big balling. He's got both.
Sam's Club too? The trifecta?
Of course. Yeah, the trifecta.
I don't even know if Sam's Club is a thing in Minnesota. Probably not.
I don't know.
It's probably
all right. Thing. On that note, we're going to end it because I'm exhausted.
I've also been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you are still with us, thank you so much for watching. I hope we entertained you with our rankings.
Let us know what you would change.
Yes, let us know that Studer is wrong for saying that Baker and Cooper Rush are better than Kenny Pickett.
Let me know why I'm right. Okay, no, I'm sorry. It's really not a question as to whether or not Rush had better stats through the amount of games that he played compared to the stats.
But it's not all about stats.
Okay, then you what's Pickett's record compared to Rush's.
I'm not saying record either. I'm saying just a better quarterback. That's why I would put
Cooper
Justin Fields
Rush,
higher.
Cooper
All
Rush
right,
should be the
we'll get
starting
into this a
quarterback if
different
he
day.
was on Pittsburgh's roster right now.
He would not. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you are on audio platforms, please rate us 5 stars. No matter where you are, social links are in the description. Please go follow us there. You will get the first take on when new episodes drop because we are a little inconsistent on the days. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll be back with the rest of our pick'ems for week 12. Week 12. Week 12. Thank you so much. Peace.
Bye, guys.